Well, hi. Wait, I think it's a little loud. Let me turn me down a little bit. Just a wee bit. There we go. I think that's better. Ah, okay. Yeah, it's loud enough to hear me, but not so loud I burst your fucking eardrums. And she's playing with the cat. Okay. So all right. Let me close that.
Cat's attacking.
Yeah, cat's attacking.
Sort of.
The ferocious kitty cat. Okay. I kind of. Okay, for those who don't know, I was on HBR's channel. I did an interview with Brian. And I kind of want to give my views on the Badgers and sort of talk on kind of what I see, because I've been watching them off and on since like 2013, 2014, so I've been seeing them for a long time. And, you know, watching everything they do is very interesting, and they're really the only people I've noticed that defended Islamic men when the whole Cologne fiasco happened, and there wasn't any. Yeah, the Cologne, basically.
Was it held in Germany?
Yeah. People claimed that like there were hundreds of thousands of Islamic men raping people, but there were no police reports. No one fucking talked about it, or no one had any evidence for it. It just seemed to happen overnight, and no one knew where it came from or why, and it was just assumed that since there was refugees that there was going to be rape and shit. And HBR was like the only people that were saying, okay, well, there's no evidence here, there's no police reports, nothing like that. At least at the time, they waited for the evidence to come out.
It would actually make sense on why they wouldn't, though, because in their country, if you do that, you get killed.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they would probably think it's the same way in others.
Yeah, true.
Especially if they don't know anything else but that one country.
Yeah, if they haven't acclimated to German customs, and they would not know that German customs are like, we'll put you in prison, but we won't behead you.
Even though if a person does do that to somebody,
yeah,
death.
Yeah,
just death.
Like if we have videotape of you doing like a horrible crime, then yeah, I can see it. But even then, you can doctor footage. I mean, it takes a certain way to do it. But anyways, I'll take some brief breathers when I talk, because I have a jagged tooth in the back and it keeps dragging on my tongue. So when I talk, it kind of cuts it open, and I have to drain the blood out of my face. Anyways, oh boy. But no, I was in the what's it called, the chat kind of thing, the after show chat that they did. Brian was there for an hour, then he had to dip out and handle his dog and do some other stuff, and he's always busy. I'll say this, the Badgers are some busy motherfuckers. Like, if you message them, good luck, they'll probably not see it, but you kind of have to catch them, like if they're in a chat or something, you kind of have to catch them. But they do go to chats and stuff on the HBR Discord, which I am a part of now. And again, everyone I've spoken to there has been nothing but nice. Everyone's kind. They're very welcoming to new people. And it's funny, because you hear feminists talk about men's rights advocates as if they're all male neckbeard misogynists who beat and rape women. And it's like, point me to fucking one. Like, fucking one. Point me to one. Like, And of course, they always bring up fucking Roosh V, who's not an MRA, or they always bring, and that's why I typically ask people. I'm like, okay, so you have an issue with MRAs. Okay, well, name me a famous one. How often have they named Roosh V? Or fucking God knows who else. Some random fucking dude who has nothing to do with the movement at all. I mean, now, on occasion, they'll say Paul Elam, and then I'll be like, okay, well, what about him specifically? And then they'll typically say, well, the Bash a Violent Bitch Month. It's like, guys, that was in response to a feminist article where they were talking about beating up men for fun. And keep in mind, the whole punching down power privilege bullshit, it's convenient how, to their metric, only men have power and privilege. It's funny that, because if you look at societies, how it's actually run, men don't have that much power to defend themselves. If a man is seen hitting a woman, even in self-defense, everyone will think he's the asshole. She could pull a fucking knife on him, and he's just expected to die and take it like a man, right? That is how a lot of people view that kind of shit. So what recourse do men actually have? The law's biased against them. The family court's biased against them. Feminism is biased against them, and feminism has its fingers in every pie in academia. And what makes a culture? Academia, the academics. The academics make the culture to a large degree. Not completely, but to a large degree, they make the culture. And that's kind of the problem, because with them determining what is culture, they've slipped the misandry pie into every oven in the fucking forest. They're essentially making it to where everyone has to view men as oppressors and privileged. And it's interesting that the people who aren't actually privileged are the only ones who are seen as privileged. Funny how that works. And no, men aren't privileged in society. I mean, all you have to do is look up a list of crimes that men and women commit. And how often do you see a mixed gender list where the man has, like, for example, if it's teachers sexually abusing students. And this is an actual list I found online. The male was, a male teacher sexually abused one student and got 10 years for it. Right? He got 10 years for that. Why am I lagging so bad? He got 10 years for that. And on the very next person on that page, the very next woman sexually abused 5 students and got a year in prison. 5 times the crime, 1/10 the sentence on the same fucking list. That is how bad the legal disparity is between men and women, regardless of race. Race is such a minor factor in that. I mean, yeah, it's kind of the extra bread on the pudding, that's true, but it's predominantly gender. It's gender more than anything else. And it's just crazy how the narrative that's accepted by society is that men are the bastards. That we shouldn't feel sympathy for men because men have all the power, don't you know? It's a scapegoat. It's a total fucking scapegoat. It's nothing but scapegoat all the way down. Like, seriously. Like, it's nothing but fucking scapegoat. And people just eat it up. They just, they assume, oh, well, men have, well, there's more male, and they fall for the typical bullshit. Oh, well, there's more male politicians, therefore more men run society. And it's like, yeah, but who votes for the politicians? Predominantly women. Who has the most spending power in society? Women. Who has the most voting power in society? Women. Who has the most legal power? And you see that especially in terms of, like, false accusations in general. All a woman has to do is say, OMG, he raped me, by the way, guys. And 5 giant burly henchmen spawn from the nearest factory and make a beeline straight for your face and do 12 2d6 damage like, per guy. Like, I don't know how the fuck people are living in upside down land here. I really don't know. Like, it's so unpainfully, like, or it's just so painfully obvious. Like, we are in a system that hyper agents men and hyper subjects women, and somehow we look at this and say, oh, think of the poor women. Like, what? You know, men are nothing but agency, and women are a substrate into which men's agency is written. So they don't even see women as humans. They see them as objects being written on, and men as the actors doing the thing. And here's the thing. When we see someone doing an action, they become that action, right? And it's very true when it comes to crime, because if a man is seen committing rape, he is seen as a rapist. His humanity no longer matters. No one cares, unless it's a fucking female clit flicker novel, in which case they will, you know, humanize the rapist as much as possible because, oh, it's hot because he's got 6 packs and he's basically Duran Gray or whatever the fuck his name was. Christian, whatever. But, like, wait, who's Duran Gray?
I don't know.
Is that the guy in the painting?
What painting?
The guy who, if he looks at the painting of himself, he re-ages from the painting. Isn't that Duran Gray? Or is it Darian Gray? It might be Darian Gray. Duran Gray. What's Duran Gray? Oh, is that a band? I think that's a band. Anyways, long sausage aside. But no, again, like, it's just insane to see how society treats these things. But if you see someone as an action, men especially are seen this way. They become the action. Why am I lagging so bad? They become the action that they are seen committing, right? To how many people was Trump seen as uber racist, uber rapist? He was just seen as hair rapist, and everyone fucking believed it, right? How many fucking times did that happen? He was just seen as hair rapist because of him making a joke, right? The act of speaking makes everyone think, oh, he's a rapist because act of speaking. Because act of speaking. Let's see if that works. See if the frame limiter works. Well, a little bit, but not by a whole lot. I never get this bad. Is it because... Hold on. This is driving me nuts. Hold on, guys. I think it's because of my shit in the background. Okay. Now let's see. A little bit. Anyways. But yeah, like... Oh, much better. Shit. Maybe it's just that one forest. I don't know. But again, like... If you see someone as the action that they committed, right? They are seen as agent. They have become agent. They have become actor. And that is sort of the... that is sort of seeing them not as much as a subject, more of an agent. A subject is someone who is, especially with the face subjectifies people naturally. We see a face and we think of a subject, we think of a person, we think of a human being. And coincidentally, that's why the porn men are into is predominantly involving women's faces. Predominantly. And the porn women are into is predominantly involving men's penis. Funny that. Anyways, you get my point. We see things as subjects, not objects. Agents can be seen as objects, the object doing the action. That is possible. But when it comes to someone receiving an action, we see that person as a subject. That's just how our brains fucking work. It's basic fucking, psychology bullshit. And if you caught the HBR video, I've been in the mental health sphere since I was 12. Gee, I wonder what happened then. And I kind of wanted to make it clear that I'm not 100% certain about that. Like, here's the thing. I don't remember. I don't. I have a lot of evidence to tell me that that is what happened after the fact. A lot of evidence. More evidence than I would need, honestly. But I still don't remember it happening, therefore I don't think it did. It's like a disassociation thing when it comes to victims and shit. And it does happen. So, but still, like, I mean, again, our perception is what defies reality. If you perceive Trump as this uber rape monster who subjugates the women's and it is to women what salt is to slugs, nice one, leftist, then, that's going to color the reality into, okay, well, women are oppressed and all this bullshit, right? Which, if you know anything about history, isn't true. Women were, if anything, exalted throughout most of history. There was a time in the medieval period where it was believed that women's vaginas had magical light powers to chase away demons. So, yeah, very, very patriarchal to believe, that women have magical powers because vagina. Literally because vagina. That is women's magical power. Vagina. That's...
Okay, though, mine is magical.
That's fair. Yours is pretty magical. Pretty magical. Anyways. Elle's being a pervert. Anyways. But,
you love it, it.
Yes, I do. But no, should I get some iron? I don't know. I doubt now. I know I'm supposed to be looking for God, but no, no one's gonna get that. Anyways, yeah, okay, I'm getting so off track. I'm sorry, guys. The honey badgers. I'm gonna try and go with each one individually and kind of give my thoughts on each person kind of individually. I haven't interacted with all of them. I've kind of passingly talked to Allison, kind of, in the chat a little bit, but I really have the most experience with Brian. I've done 2 interviews with him, one on him and one on me, for each of our shows, so I have worked with him. I like Brian a lot. I think he's a really cool dude. He's very centered, very... How do I put this? Nothing gets him down. The dude's dog died and he got ball cancer in the same week. And he was like, I'll be fine. How are you... How are you living in reality? What? How? Again, that's impressive, don't get me wrong, but what? I would have at least been a little sad if my dog died, especially if Brittany died. That was my dog as a child. If my dog died and I got testicular cancer in the same week, then I'd be a little down for a while. I'm just, that's just me.
The first thing I'd probably be is just God damn it.
Yeah, no shit. I'd be a little down for that, but... Brian was just oh no, it'll get better. He always has his optimistic attitude about things, and it's very wholesome. Again, he's the one I've most experienced talking and being around and everything, and he has a very interesting viewpoint, honestly. And I think it's very grounded in reality. He's very. It's weird because he's so realistic, but at the same time, deep down, he's an optimist, and I respect that. I really do. Allison, she's interesting. She's kind of the brains behind the operation. She kind of went all this together, and she used to have the account Typhon Blue, for those who don't know, and she kind of stopped doing that and started doing HBR and just went off with it and has been doing it ever since. And God, that woman's got the fucking passion of a freight train. Like, holy shit. Like, she give me the fucking move from the fucking post. What the fuck? Anyways, she's got the passion of a freight train and determination too. She's a very determined, headstrong person, and I respect that. I respect all the honey badgers. I don't think I have an issue with a single one of them. I kind of want to get to know, not Rand McCann, but the other Mike. I kind of want to get to know him a bit better before I make a judgment, just because he's kind of new to me. He kind of plays everything under his sleeve, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what his viewpoints are or the type of guy he is. I really don't know. So I'm not really going to say much about him, honestly. I would like to learn more. I'm going to try and interview as many of the badgers as I can just because I'm fascinated by their work, And I think they're very interesting people, and I want to get to know all of them. It's like collect the badgers, But anyways, I want to get to know a lot of these people, and the only one I've really spoken to was Brian. I might do an update to this. Maybe in the future, I might do an updated about the Badgers, but, still, I'm not going to say too much about Mike J. Brandon Cam, I used to watch him, like, back in the day. I used to watch the fuck out of that guy. That guy's great. He's one of my inspirations for doing YouTube videos. Like, seriously, he's one of my main inspirations. He's the bombastic, wordy, nerdy guy, and he's like always drunk, even when he's not, and it's amazing. I love it so much. I love his drunken clamber. It's so wholesome, And we like the same alcohol, oddly enough, which I think is kind of neat. Although I've kind of gotten less into Honey Jack and more into Baron Jaeger myself, just because it's like getting kicked in the face with a beehive. It's amazing, much more honey tasting. But Honey Jack is good in terms of like it's strong enough because of the honey and the sugar in it. It's strong enough, but it's not so strong that you're like, sweet Zomba Jesus. It's at least palatable, right? Like, but it still tastes pretty sweet, which I like. But
the doctor's calling me.
Oh,
but you know that.
No. Maybe he's trying to call me. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, just message him that I'm making a video right now. I'll call him afterwards though if he's still up. Vivek is a buddy of mine. He, I believe, owns newsofx.com, which I write for on occasion. I do plan on writing a few more articles for them in the near future, so do look out for that. But anyways, I'm kind of a little bit of everywhere. Like I'm associated with the Honey Badgers now. I've got my own YouTube thing that I do. I have my World Anvil story that I'm writing. Granted, most of the story I've written when I was like 12. Yeah, a lot of things have happened when I was 12. It was a very eventful year. But again, like back to what I was getting at. I like Brandon McKim a lot. He's one of those guys who thinks he's autistic but doesn't. Like he acts like it, but he doesn't at the same time, and it's very interesting to see because, he obviously talks about, the difference between autism and borderline personality disorder, and there's a huge difference, and he matches a lot of the stereotypes of autism, but the actual things about autism that you know of when you actually look for it, he doesn't match as well. So it's kind of a false positive kind of with him. But he's still really cool. I think he's a very passionate human being, and I respect that. I respect people's passion. He's very passionate, very compassionate at the same time, very loving, and granted, he does rage quite a bit. Rand Cam does. He does rage quite a bit, but it's easy to rage when the whole world is burning in front of you and no one's listening to you. It's pretty easy to rage at that moment. And what I've noticed with the MRM in general, we tend to respect anger. That's what I've noticed. We tend to view anger as, okay, at least you know there's a problem, right? We're kind of at that stage because if you know that there's a problem, you can start to do things about it. Again, if you're not aware of the problem, then how can you even address it? And I think that's the first step of AA for a reason. But I've been to AA. I'm not an alcoholic. I only went there to see what it was like, to see what they were doing, mostly to pass the time. Let's be honest. I just wanted a reason to get out of my fucking room. And they were kind of weird. I get why people think they're a cult. I really do. I totally get it. I don't know if they are, but they are the type that says, we're not a religion, by the way, God. Right? Which was very unusual. Yeah, we're not a religion. I promise we're not a religion, by the way, Jesus. What? Like,
this is what time it is.
Oh shit, it's like 7 in the morning over there. God damn.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's 8:30 here, so they're on one of the weird time schedules.
Okay, yeah.
So they're on one of the really weird time schedules.
Yeah, we're
half an hour away from...
Yeah, where the minutes don't add up. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I totally get you. Yeah.
And it's like, huh?
I believe he lives in India. He's like, what, as old as me? A little less?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about my age, which I did not expect. No, I don't think he's married. No. Married. I thought he was too, but he says that he's not.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's literally the exact same age as me.
Yeah. I'll say this about Vivek, just to throw him in the mix, because he's also an MRA, just to throw him in the mix. He, really nice guy, really total sweetheart. Like, he is such a big heart. I respect the fuck out of that. Such a big heart. But at the same time, and the one downside to Vivek, and I'm sorry, buddy, but it's true, you don't really know how to let me know in a conversation when you're done talking. like, it might just be an Indian thing. It might just be that. It might just be a cultural thing. Which is fine. That's okay if it is. I totally get you. It might just be a cultural thing. But I'll talk to him, and he'll basically say, okay, goodbye, and I'll think he's gonna keep talking. I'm like, where'd you go? Oh shit, he said bye. Like, maybe it's because he's not very like brash and vocal about it. Maybe. But maybe
we could ask them how they usually say goodbye.
Yeah, it might be a cultural thing. It might be, which that's totally fine.
Like how do they announce how they're gonna announce departure?
Yeah. I mean, again, like, Vivek's a great guy. He's called me a few times, checked up on me just to see how I was doing. Not just to add to his website, but to actually see how I was doing. And that makes me want to work for him even more. Like, seriously, that makes me want to write even more articles. Just because he's like, yeah, no shit. Just because he's like, well, no, you are important, and I do want to look after you, and you are a human being who deserves compassion. And it's like, God, like, I honestly, if anyone believes that MRA types are anything negative, you guys haven't fucking met any. I'm sorry, you fucking haven't. I've not met a single asshole in the whole fucking bunch. Not a fucking one. Not a fucking one. So this notion that it's just, oh, well, the ideology's good, but the people in it are assholes and misogynists. Fuck, no. No. I would like to fucking see some evidence if that's true. Because
the only time I've ever seen any assholes is the individual people themselves, not what they're standing for.
Yeah, because the message that the MRM is standing for is essentially be compassionate and give men love and decency, right? Like, essentially, is be a compassionate human being. Like, that's, I don't know how that can be warped into hating anybody. Like, seriously. Be compassionate and love thy neighbor. We're basically the Christians of the manosphere, basically. I wonder what the incels are. Oh god, I just saw inside the horse's head. I just saw in. Yeah. Well, true. That's yeah. Well, actually, I think MGTOWs would be the pagans because they're kind of the ones outside of the system. Because pagans typically left, more civilized lands to frolic in the forest and be with nature. So that's,
we're still pretty civilized.
Well, yeah, we were, granted, but we preferred our own tribes and our own fucking forests and shit. Which, again, there's nothing wrong with, but,
Well, I hope not.
Yeah.
Why would you be pagan?
Yeah, true. I was just talking more from a historical standpoint than I was like a personal religious standpoint, but
I'm just saying.
Now, to my next one, Hannah Wallen. Haven't really spoken to her. I've popped her a message, but she's just been busy. I totally get it. Again, if you DM these guys, they probably will never see it. My horse just flew. Holy shit. I'm lagging so bad.
Sitting in a car that air flies 40 feet above it.
Yeah, no shit.
That actually happened.
Like, if you send these people a message, they probably won't see it. So you kind of have to catch them when they're, specifically doing things with people. You kind of have to catch them in the act. But, again, when they actually are... they're busy as balls because of their profession.
The reason why he wants to call you is to congratulate you.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, tell him I said thanks, and I'll call him afterwards.
Well, I did tell him you'd call him after.
Yeah. I'd like to pop in with him just to, let him know. Yeah, that's fine.
Since I tagged him, he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting to get on HBR for a while, guys, to be honest, and I just kind of was at the right place at the right time, kind of. And it was also Brian just being a total sweetheart. That was another big factor of it, But I was basically just like, oh, yeah, like, I wanted to tell my story about, essentially what happened to me. Like, if my story could happen to a 6'10" goth with, as Brian puts it, a 5-pound cock, as Brian puts it, then...
Watch the video, you'll actually hear it.
You'll hear him actually say 5-pound cock, and I almost died laughing.
It's like, oh, well, it's 5-pound cock.
Yeah, I almost died laughing. But anyways, like if
I was trying to figure out what the fuck he was talking about. I thought he was talking about some dude in general.
Oh, no.
But nope, he was talking about you.
Yeah, but no, again, like, it was just comical. But, with that, because a guy that came on the HBR chat thing actually said that, he said that looks is a big factor in women selecting men, and no, that's true, they are, but it's not the only factor. If it was the only factor, then, I doubt I would have dealt with cuffing that much. I doubt I would have dealt with that much.
I doubt that I ever would have picked my exes.
Yeah, if that was the only thing, then Al never would have dated anybody other than me. Because most of her exes were very low T.
To be fair, I wouldn't be against that.
Yeah. Fair.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, but again, like... I mean, still, fucking, that's just kind of how women select. They select not just for physical attraction, but that is a factor. If it wasn't a factor at all, then if it was just finance, then I never would have had a date, like, ever. I'm 6'10" and goth. Bitches love that shit, right? So, obviously in my teenage years, the dating pool wasn't too difficult for me to obtain. But if it wasn't for my height, and I still had the same condition, I would probably have been an incel. I kind of forgot to mention that, but I probably would have been an incel if it wasn't for my height and the goth thing. You know, bitches like the goth thing. I don't know. That's just kind of how I always been, I guess. But anyways.
Nine.
Yeah. Elle's okay. She's just doing the moss arrow again. The moss arrow. And I do the speed potion. No, and Sammy does the invisibility potion. No, but yeah, oh, there's my drink. Fuck, I forgot where I put my drink for a second. I was looking for it. Like, yeah, no shit. But yeah, no. Back to what I was saying about Hannah Wallen. Hannah Wallen is a very interesting character because she doesn't really, she does but she doesn't. She's like a weird mix of the two when it comes to emotions. She doesn't show them typically, but you can tell she feels it. She just doesn't show it. Very akin to my father. Very male-brained of her, I might say. You know, just very, very compassionate, very big-hearted, but doesn't parade the heartedness all over the place, which is fair. I don't expect her to. What? Yeah. You are kind of a Hannah type, actually. It reminds me of my father a lot, actually. But you know. Yeah. Our friend Chelsea is very akin to Allison. Just, you know, the very cynical kind of, well, the world's burning. I'm going to point it out to you, and you're going to enjoy it. You know, essentially, not in like a forceful way, but more in like a, oh hey, look, fire sort of way. Like, you know. So that's pretty much Allison and our friend Chelsea at the same time. But you know, again, like, so these are kind of rough summations that I have of the Badgers, based on what I've seen of them for so long and how I watched their show and my thoughts on them. Kind of just my first impressions, really. But it's a little deeper than that, so don't think this is all surface level. I don't know if I could pick a favorite, honestly. I was kind of thinking, like, which would my favorite be? In terms of men, either Brian or Mike, although that's most of the men there, because, again, I don't know the other Mike well enough. He's kind of new to the cast, so I don't know him that well, so I can't really judge, you know. He seems like a cool guy. I mean, if he got in with the Honey Badgers, he must be a cool dude. I mean, shit, you know. But I don't know much about him. I can't say anything. But Randomer Cam, him I really like. But Brian's just got a special place in my heart, like as a bro. You know what I mean? Like he's always busy, but he still tries to make time for you, and I just appreciate the fuck out of that. That's very cool. You know. But yeah, he runs around like a chicken with no head. Like I don't know how Brian makes time for anything. Seriously. He's made time to contact me. He's made time to chat with me a few times. He's made time for almost a stranger just because I was A, persistent, you know, B, I was polite. So I think that's kind of what did it. But again, like, I always try to be polite when I, you know, confront people. Not really confront, but just when I talk to people, I try to be as polite as possible. I don't know. Like, the way I see it, you know, fucking my life is dark and suffering enough. I don't need more drama to it. I'm stuck in a fucking tree. Anyways, that happens a lot in this game. You get stuck in trees sometimes. But again, like, you know, I've dealt with enough fucking Shadowkin to really. Well, that's ironic. I dealt with enough Shadowkin to really be like, well, yeah, I want more darkness and disarray in my life. Yeah, totally. More drama, please. Yeah, totally. But no, oh god, my horse fell. Oh god.
Wait, what?
my horse, like.
Nope, not that.
Yeah.
Shadowkin?
I think, what poem is that a reference to? I forget which poem, but the Shadowkin were known as, that's the English translation, but it basically meant the black, or the blackened. It talks about the white women and the blackened. You could translate it to black men, but it's more like shadow men is really what it is. But it's like a Norse poem where they talk about the white women were spirits. They were white, translucent spirits of good fortune and boon and benefit. And the shadow men were essentially the opposite. They were these darkened spirits of mischief and disarray and darkness and chaos and things like that. You know? Because people don't realize, in terms of psychology, most mythologies equate shadows to chaos. Most of them do. Like it's very. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. It's very akin to what Jordan Peterson says about the divine feminine and the chaos ensues and all that stuff. He's not wrong in terms of like mythology and how we view the world and shit. Like he's onto something. The dude knows his shit, guys. And I can say that definitely about the Badgers. They know their shit. Like a lot of the research I've done equates to the research they've done. Like, I mean, it's almost an exact copy.
Well, not to mention they also give their sources.
And they do give sources a lot, yeah, which I do appreciate. Because I never give sources just because the way I see it, if you're not going to believe my source, you're not going to believe my source. It doesn't matter if my source is good or not. If you don't give a shit, what does it matter? Yeah, he's in the window. But, again, like, just kind of the way I see it, That, and how many people say, oh, well, you need a source to prove your argument. And then they cite fucking CNN. Well, it's
Jezebel.
Or Jezebel. It's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, you totally have concrete evidence there, Caligula. Fuck. Anyways. But, again, that's just, yeah. A lot of people don't understand the source thing. They cite the worst source on the planet, the most biased source you could think of, and then they get mad at you for not citing a source when you state basic fact. You don't even cite a study. You just say, well, blue is blue. Source? What? I just told you about human nature and tangible reality. How the fuck do I need a source for that? Fuck, you fucking lying cunts. Ugh. I hate that shit. They demand a source and then they cite fucking CNN. Like that's, totally unbiased or whatever. It's like you guys are just appealing to authority. That's all it fucking is. That's all it fucking is half the time is appeal to authority. Well, I need a source because I believe in authority above the common man. Fuck you. I believe in liberty. Yeah. Now what? Okay. I'll bet my liberty guns against your fucking authoritarian letters any day. Fucking lying assholes. I got this is basically a Kryscade at this point. I am playing a game. This, just because like I get so distracted and shit that I forget what the hell I'm talking about, and then I go on tangents, all while bleeding from the tongue. Oh God, is that the same Philly as earlier? Or is that a new Philly? Looks to be the same color. Where's the other horse? Is there another horse? Where's my other horse? I guess that is the Philly from last season. I guess. Could have sworn there would have been a full-grown horse by now. That Philly needs to fucking mature already. Mature! Become old. Old and senile like me. No, I am close to senile though. Like, don't doubt me on that, guys. Anyways, yeah, like, and I kind of like how the Badgers are essentially like different directions of crazy. Yeah, like Brian's the calm crazy that only gets crazy when like morals are questioned. Ranmer Cam's the drunk crazy. Karen's the crazy bull dyke swinging the battle axe because rage. Hannah's the sarcastic rage because Bit and Jagger, and Allison's the fucking depressing rage. Like, you know, like they all have different types of rage, and it's beautiful. I love it so much. But again, like, you know, I definitely plan on working with them more in the future. I might even be on an episode with them. Who knows? Like, other than interviews and stuff, I might join them maybe if they want me to. You know, I'm always down. You know, but if not, I totally get it. It's their show. You know, I don't give a shit. But, you know, and I'll say this, Jonathan, you gotta get into like audiobooks. Seriously, you've got to get into audiobooks. You have a voice that could sell liquid milk. Like you could sell silk covered in ants, and people would fucking, like, with that voice, I'd buy it. I'd fucking buy it. I'd buy fucking ant covered silk, like the crunchy silk. No, I mean, shit, like, you know, with that voice. And in the chat I was in, he showed up a little bit, and he talked kind of about COVID and stuff. And again, you know, I gotta say, you know, as far as couples go, they got their shit figured out. You know, Allison and John, the yeah, that's Allison's husband. Yeah. Jonathan, yeah, he's got a great voice. Like, it's almost like the more Canadian Adam Jensen. What? Well, no. They said Adam for a second. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyways, well, no. I mean, it's a male voice. You know, male voices have different properties. You know, but again, like, fuck, like, you gotta package that voice, dude. Seriously, like, you gotta make some money off that. And I hopefully I'll ask Allison this soon, but I really want to know, what is it with her and the word pog lately? Like, she said it like 5 times lately. She keep mentioning pogs, and I'm like, okay. I mean, that's fine, but why? You know, like, it's actually kind of comical. I just want to ask her, why pogs? Like, of all the acronyms you could use, you know, like, anyways, but no, yeah, like, that is kind of comical, but, you know, now on to Karen. Oh boy, on to Karen. Karen's the kind of wise, sarcastic mother. You know what I mean? She's kind of the battle axe who's kind of wise on the side that you listen to more because you're afraid of what she'll do to you than her advice being good. Yeah, her advice is good. Don't get me wrong, but she's kind of scary. Like, she's a little spooky spook. I'm just saying. But, like, you know, other than that, shit. But, you know, it's kind of a rough summation of the honey badgers, I know. I don't know too much other than that. But again, you know, I'd like to see Jonathan on more stuff on HBR. I've seen him on a few live stream videos way back when, and I'd like to see him on more stuff because he's got an interesting perspective on things. He really does, you know. And I like seeing couples be good couples together. It's just wholesome to me, you know, very, very wholesome indeed. And, you know, Ale and I try and be a good couple, and, you know, all that fun stuff. And then seeing them two, it's wholesome. It's nice to see, you know. I know Hannah's got her hubby and her kids and everything, but I've never heard her husband talk before, so I don't really know. I don't want to say too much, but I will say this: if you guys are looking to join the Badger live streams chat, or the Discord, the Badger Discord, and you share these interests, only if you share these interests, really, will you feel like you belong. But just I mean, I've only been in there for like a week or two, and everyone's been nothing but nice to me. You know, I haven't been in there long, couple days, maybe a week. Like, and everyone's been nothing but kind. You know, we post memes, we post jokes. You know, we do debates, all sorts of stuff, and it's really nice to see. It's really wholesome. It's, you know, there's a lot of people that know to keep a positive outlook, even though things look grim, and they do look grim, especially in America. Because if freedom lands on fire, then you really got to worry.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Biden doesn't get impeached because of Afghan disaster numero trace, then I think that'll prove to everyone even harder that he was faked in. I think that'll prove even harder. But yeah. Got my tongue. Fuck. I just gotta not talk for a couple hours. Let me put some fertilizer in here. Fertilizer. I can't do that tongue thing, not with my tooth hanging precociously over the fireplace as we speak. But on that, yeah, no, I mean, you know, it was a great chat. I don't feel like anything was unfair. I don't feel like anything was biased or untoward. I mean, it was a great conversation. Everyone was nice. Everyone was kind. Everyone was, you know, I mean, not just Brian himself, but, you know, the after chat and all that stuff. I mean, all of it was great. I mean, you know, people were nice. They asked me some questions, that kind of stuff. You know, it was very wholesome to see, and I really like knowing that there's people out there that are as compassionate as I am. And let me put it this way, I often, I don't know if there's a word for this, but I often feel like compassion pain, like love pain almost. Like I'll feel for someone so bad that it fucking hurts my insides, you know. And hearing about people being tortured and horrible things, just, God, it like kills me on the inside on a personal level. And I just, fuck, like it, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I like to think it makes me kind of humble. I like to think that, but oh, I gotta make some bowls. Make some bowels. Wait a minute. No. Oh, management. Duh. Oh, shit. Production. Okay. Oh. Okay, I don't have enough for bowls. I gotta lower on the buckets. Oh, let's do 17. Now let's get you up. Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. That'll be 15 bowls a day. That should do better numbers. All right. I love the management in this game. The little management tips that you do and stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no. I might upload this tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But again, it was very good talking with everybody. Everyone was super nice. I'll say this, my Discord connection kind of sucks, so I can't really be as vocal as I want to be, but it was still really wholesome. It was really nice to, you know, talk to everybody and get to know some people. And I mean, Brian had to pop out. I totally get it. Allison popped in for a little bit. I've seen Hannah and Randomer Cam on the chat beforehand, and, you know, still it'd be great to interview more of them, just to kind of figure out how all this happened. I really want to view Allison and Randomer Cam. I'll probably get to the other few afterwards, probably, but I kind of want to do those two first, if I can, of course. but I got to catch him in the act, and that's kind of difficult. So, anyways, but yeah, no, everything was great. I had no problems. I kind of felt like I didn't have enough time, honestly, to really talk about my story. But I covered a lot of bases and grounds that I think were kind of important, especially given the topic. I've unfortunately been involved in a lot of like threesome-esque relationships, and they were all terrible. All of them. All of them were awful. I never wanted them. I never liked them. I didn't enjoy them at the time. So by feminist definition, I guess that was coercive rape, I guess, maybe, but then again, by their definition, what isn't rape? So anyways. But yeah, like
that actually happens to people more often than they think.
Yeah, no shit.
That sort of situation happens way too often.
Yeah, I think it happens a lot to men, especially just because, we're kind of raised on this notion that, you don't say no to a woman. You give all women a chance because they're all pure and righteous and virtuous. Trust me, they ain't. They ain't. A lot of people ain't virtuous at all. And we're raised on this paradigm where women are the virtuous ones and men are the devils. And if it wasn't for men being attractive to women, then we probably wouldn't have any dating in the first place. Or if it wasn't for women wanting essentially a workhorse, then, that wouldn't happen either. Because men are very much the workhorses in society. They're like having your own slave. It's funny how people were pointing out the fembots that were made, and it's like, oh, they're made in the image of women, therefore fucking, actually, I don't think anyone said that, but I was expecting people to be like, oh, they're made in the image of women, therefore we objectify women. It's like, first of all, no one's saying that right now, at least from what I am aware of, because everyone loves Elon Musk for some reason, and you wonder why. And two, he did that because you're not going to make a man robot who can overpower you. You know what I mean? Like,